Hello, my name is Lauren Lieb, and I will be your counselor in training today. Please know that I'm not a licensed counselor as of now, but this is a mock session to use for future counseling preferences for the GCU to see how well I do. So first things first, what we're going to start out with is the informed consent form that I've sent you on your email. And if you will, enter your full name for me in the place where it says enter full name, and we will go over each one of these statements regarding to what they mean. So if you have any questions about them, please feel free to ask what they mean or ask for clarification.
All right, I have my full name wrote and I'm waiting to proceed.
All right, statement number 1. I consent to video audio recordings being made of mock counseling sessions and to aid these recordings being used as aid to grow of counseling knowledge and skills.
All right, I initialed that.
All right. Statement number 2. I consent to the excerpts from these recordings or descriptions of them being used by the Grand Canyon University faculty and staff for the purposes of supervision, research, and/or teaching.
All right, I initialed that one.
Statement number 3. I understand that any part of a conversation that is recorded or written down will be kept confidential.
All right.
Statement number 4. I will not disclose any information that may identify me in mock counseling session recordings. The information given will be fictional, and I will use an alias.
All right, not a problem. Moving on.
Statement number 5. I understand that Zoom will be used to record counseling sessions and that Zoom meetings, both HIPAA and FERPA confidentiality standards.
All right, got that one.
Statement number 6. I understand that if in the recording of these mock counseling session activities, any suicidal ideation or other potentially harmful thoughts, I will reach out to a professional in my local area immediately. Neither GCU, the college, nor the counseling student will be held accountable if I am to harm myself.
All right, got that one too.
All right, if you have agreed to all these, if you don't mind, please print your name, the date, and the electronic signature below, and we'll get started.
All right, name, date, and signature. All right.
All right, so what is it that we want to talk about today?
I've been having a lot of stresses at my job recently, having to deal with managers just becoming irritating people. And I don't know, every time I go in, it's like I have some new fear or anxiety that they're going to yell at me for something new. And I don't know what to expect one day or the next because of it.
That does sound hard. Is there a certain manager in particular? You don't have to name them. You can just name off some things that maybe they do that irritate you.
Well, there's one that is always following around different women at the store that I just don't like seeing him acting certain ways. And we have told management and they've known about it for a while and they've moved beyond that. But he still was working there until recently. And then he found a person who she's not being creepy, but she's also causing all kinds of different similar problems. And I really don't know what to do with it. They just keep having these people working there.
So, from what it sounds like, is you're just having a difficult time with these people because they aren't respecting you like you want to be respected.
There's basically no sense of respect with a few of the managers. A few of them I have no problems with. I can work with them and they're there and they'll put in the work and they'll put in the effort and I don't have a problem with them. But then the other managers will just either sit around do nothing or tell you go do this, go do that. And it's hard to hold respect for a person who won't even give you any respect either. They act like they're superior to everyone. And yeah, you're a manager, but there's like there should be some level of work that I don't see them putting in that the others are. And I don't know what to do with it. And it's really irritating to deal with every day.
Do you feel like you're getting taking on more than what they should be expecting of you at your level or at where you're at in your current job right now?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but also I feel like everyone says that too. No matter what job you're at, you're probably like, well, I should be paid more for what I'm doing. But I feel like some of the stuff I have to do, whether it's go clean this, go clean that, which is the main thing I don't like doing, it's also the way they ask me to do things, the way they have me go and do these things. They just come up to me and scream at me or yell at me, and I'm just like, what's wrong with just telling me, hey, go do that? Instead, I get yelled at for every little thing that I can think of.
So they yell at you a lot, or is it kind of like just a constant nag
Uh,
or a mixture?
Probably a mixture. I don't get yelled at too often, but as far as nagging, that is a daily occurrence. If I do something wrong, I have one manager that doesn't just do it to me, does it to others. She'll come over and tell someone, well, that's not how you do this. Let me show you how to do it. Just basically push you out the way. And it's like a level of respect is just not there.
What are some things that you can think of or we can think of together that might make it a little bit easier to go to your job every day?
Well, maybe if I just found a way to, I don't know, de stress or something to make me not worry about it all the time. Because when I come home, I just want to relax and be with my family. But there's times where all I can think of was how bad that day was, or oh great, I have to wake up and do this tomorrow. And it's really irritating to not be able to. I want to compartmentalize, but I don't know if that's the healthy approach. You know what I mean?
I do. Compartmentalizing can be very hard and it can sometimes bleed over because if you hold too much in one compartment, it's going to spill out over into your other parts of your life. So I think what we can do is we could try to find some ways for you to helpfully de-stress when you get home or before you go to work. What are some things that you can think of or we can think of together that might help?
Well, as far as after work, the obvious answer of taking a nice hot shower and maybe just doing nothing for a little while does seem to work a little bit. That's what I try to do is just try to relax for at least an hour before I do anything else. But as far as before work, I feel like I never have the energy or the drive to even wake up earlier than I need to do anything. Maybe if I find a way to de-stress that would get me up early, then maybe I would wake up before work and do something.
What are some things you like to do in the morning if you wake up on time?
If I wake up early enough, I actually enjoy having like a small garden or even a small Zen garden. And not as an exaggeration, I wouldn't mind having one just mixed with the other plants and stuff. Um, just waking up and having a nice cup of coffee and sitting outside and listening to nature. But I'm again, the main problem is like I never that requires a lot of extra effort that I just don't feel like I'm willing to put in because I just can't justify it to myself.
You can't justify the lack of sleep.
Pretty much. And I'm always up late because I'm sitting there worrying about every little thing that's going to happen the next day.
That does sound like it would be hard to find a way to fully decompress. I would say maybe what would be good for you is to try to wake up a little bit earlier, not too much earlier, maybe a little bit earlier to give yourself a minute to kind of breathe, face the day.
I mean, I suppose that would be worth trying, but other than maybe waking up to take a shower and have a cup of coffee, but maybe that alone could help. I'm not sure. Some of my managers even go out and they'll work out or something before they go to work, One of them wakes up at 5 a.m. to cut the grass. I thought she was insane, but now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, maybe that's not that crazy.
I think 5 a.m. is a stretch. Um, if they've been doing it for a while, maybe it's not so hard for them, but it might be hard for you. But maybe waking up at, if you have an afternoon shift, maybe waking up an hour earlier to enjoy some of the day. Not a lot of it, but enough to give you a peace of mind.
That might be something I could do. But I also like, I don't know what to do when I'm at work and I have to deal with these people just constantly trying to irritate me. I always feel like the term biting your tongue is very literal.
You work in retail, right?
Yes.
It is a very literal term in retail. And I know a lot of people will talk about how you just have to suck it up and go through the day. But that's really hard. So, what are some things that you try to do throughout the day that make it not as hard?
I mean, they are nice enough that I don't just get a lunch. I also get a 15-minute break as long as I'm scheduled long enough. So that does help. But there's often days where I don't even get that just because we're so busy and it's not required that I have it. But as far as while I'm there, what I do, all I do is work. I don't really have time to think about much else. But I don't want to run around being a bitter person all the time. I see a few of the other workers when they get yelled at, they just become incredibly rude. I don't want to be that way. And I definitely don't want it to become part of my personality.
I think what we should work on at work is we should learn how to just let it fall off. Like, managers are going to be managers. Can't really stop them from being managers. And we got to learn how to just let the problems, just take them what they are, fix it, and just forget.
I mean, I guess I could try on something like that. I'd probably need like something to distract me or something to maybe not necessarily something to look forward to. I have that, but it's more like I don't have a good de-stressing situation. Like, yeah, I could play a video game or yeah, I could go out and have a beer or whatever, but I need to find that something that helps me de-stress. And I'm not sure what it is. What would you recommend for something like that?
Well, what do you like to do besides video games and going home and taking those showers? What is something you honestly like doing?
Honestly, I like going out on hikes and stuff like that, but I haven't done that since I was, I don't know, 17.
Maybe you should try going on hikes again, just small ones, like an hour walk here, there, and build yourself back up to where you can make those long hikes again.
I
But I
mean,
enjoy.
I used to go for hikes and it would be outside for 6, 7 hours at a time. I'd bring lunch with me and everything. I go out and go to some crazy places. And occasionally my mom would go with me, but I just enjoy being out in nature most of the time. But being working in retail, you're not really allowed to get out of a building. So you're kind of just stuck there for 30 to 45 hours a week, depending on the week.
I would recommend for you is on one of your days off, at least one, even if you got some stuff going on, try to find that hour block where you can go outside and get into nature. You don't have to go very far from your house. It can be just up the street. Just go out and walk for about an hour. Once you come back, then you're ready to start over again.
That might actually be worth trying. So, is there anything else you could think of that I should worry about or work on?
No, I think we're good, and I think we're going to end this session right here. It was a wonder talking to you, and thank you. for your time.
Thank you very much as well. I'll work on what you said.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.